welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, movie watching hat. Hello.
Hello.
What's new?
Oh, we just hauled the couch outside, so just
Yeah, I was that was my first line of follow-up. How is the couch situation? Did you find one?
Yes, and we're currently couchless.
Oh.
So they're delivering it tomorrow.
Okay.
But we had to get our other one. Tomorrow is also the cleanup day.
Yeah.
Day. So we had to get our old one outside.
Sure.
And then so that they could come by and pick it up and take it away tomorrow. And then that allows us to clean under the couch and then get ready for tomorrow one. It's very horrible under there. Don't judge me. The couch has been in the same place since we bought it.
A few years ago. At least
12 years ago. And so, and we were both very sentimental people. So it's like, oh, this is kind of like, it's like a good day because our couch is literally broken and like, it's very uncomfortable to sit on. But it's also like really, I don't know, I'm very sentimental about like things, you know? So,
yes,
kind of sad.
I'm aware of who your father is, so yes, I understand.
Yes, I take after our father in this regard. So, like, it's kind of sad because it's like the first thing. It's like one of the first things that we bought together, and like we've watched a lot of movies together on the couch, and that's where we sat with Chuck.
Yeah,
you know. So that was it's kind of like a sad time.
Right.
/ happy time. So, because we are getting a couch that functions, which is good. It actually
functions, but stands the memories.
Yes, no memories yet, which is sad. So, like, you know, the new couch like actually reclines, which is good.
It doesn't fall in when you sit on it.
Yes, it doesn't completely collapse when you sit on it. We tipped that sucker up.
Yeah.
When I got it outside to make sure there was nothing else stuck underneath it. And all of the springs on one side are completely blown out. All of them. They've all busted off and are not attached anymore to the underside. And so, like, you sit on it and there's nothing. It just, like, bleh. And so the carpet's all like grody under there. We found some socks, obviously, and like 12,000 pencils and some dog food. Like,
yeah.
So it's been an adventure. So
what was the selection process like? What kind of qualities were you after?
Well, that's the so it's kind of like we were thinking about. The first question was, do we want another reclining couch? Right? Because this one broke so badly.
Yeah.
Because it has all those moving parts and everything. And it collapsed so hard that like we were like, well, do we want another one? And then we were like, well, we did have this one for 12 years. So like, that's pretty good run as far as couches go.
That's its own.
But, you know, we were thinking like, well, do we get like a couch with like an ottoman set up, right? So you can still sort of like recline and like lounge, you know?
Yeah.
Because when you watch movies on the couch, you don't want to sit like upright, like you're in some kind of like interview waiting room. You know what I mean? Like, but our living room is not big enough.
Yeah.
To contain said ottomans. You know what I mean? Especially because we have that coffee table in there and there's that stuff. So, like, there's not it's not a lot of room. So that was the biggest part of the selection process, is like what kind of like shape is this going to be?
Sure.
You know, like what sort of, that was the big this decision. Like, is it going to be like a standard couch or one that reclines, even though our reclining one broke horribly? Like, because a normal couch doesn't have moving parts to break, but also you can't like put your feet up on it. And when you watch movies and stuff, it's what you want to do. So like, I don't know.
So you went with the reclining, right? Obviously.
Yeah, just for the space, right? It's a space thing mostly. It's because I don't think the living room can handle ottomans.
A full ottoman is a big
coffee table.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, like especially a lot of the ones that they sell are like huge. Now, I don't know. It might be a different story if they were like small. You know, like old timey ottomans are like much smaller. You can like move them around and stuff. But most of the ottomans that are available are enormous. They're like the size of my coffee table. Yeah. So like,
I don't understand that either.
And then like they're always in front of the couch. You know what I mean? And so like, yes, I mean, technically you could break it up and you have more seating. So if like other people come over, you know, they can like, they could sit on the ottoman. Right. I know. Right. That'd be cool. But that's just not, I don't know. We just kind of decided that wasn't really the plan. So it was just not enough space for that. So the reclining one, pretty nice. We'll see tomorrow how it fits in, but
sure.
It's like light. It's like a lighter gray color. We eschewed the traditional brown that my entire house is.
Nice. Man,
just brown everywhere.
The statement piece.
It's like a grayish. Yeah. Statement. A different neutral. Bang.
Aha! Take that.
I'll never see that one coming.
Right. Yeah. We our couch it's a kind of, it's the normal couch. It's not a reclining couch, but one side is like the chaise, like
like the long one. Yeah.
Long one. So it's kind of like an L couch. And
yes.
It's nice because you can kind of decide which end you want to sit on. But obviously, if two people want to recline, you can't. Sit in the pose, right? Not maybe recline, but you can't do that. So that kind of makes it.
Yeah, they had some of those too, and that's kind of what we thought. Like, well, which one? Who's going to sit on? What if we both want to sit on the couch?
Yeah,
which we do. If we're going to like watch TV or like a lot of times we eat on the couch.
Sure.
So it's like, or are you gonna? Who's gonna get the chaise side? Right? Like, they have those ones that are like double chaise lounges, right? So it's like I don't know what shape that would be. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like a U,
like a U. Yeah,
like a square U, I guess.
Yeah, like a U. But that's also like, well, then what's the like? That's a lot of room.
Yeah.
What's the point? I mean, that would be kind of cool, but I don't think our apartment living room is quite big enough for that. That'd be kind of sweet, though.
No,
right? I like the idea of that, but in my current, like where we live, like the practicality of living with that, I think I would get annoyed with it very quickly.
Oh no, it shocked me. Like when we looked for couches and we bought this one, we actually bought this one used from people who were moving. But we'd go and look at couches, and it was like, where do you think people have room for this? Like I have house sit for houses that have room for this, but that's because they're a $7,500 house, or in the living room is the size of my entire
like my whole apartment,
or whatever, right? Like, what is this? And you try and go and find like small couches, and then they just get then that's a whole nother sub genre of couch.
That's true.
Of small,
go the vintage couch. Yeah. Right.
That would be cool.
That'd be kind of cool, but again, they're like really touchy. Like they're either like pristine and like $1 billion, or like pretty rickety, and you kind of don't want to sit on it. Like,
right? Yeah. And And then you get to you're rehabbing upholstery and rehabbing things.
Yeah, I'm not about that life.
I'd rather not do this at all.
Ends up costing you more than the brand new couch that I got, right? Like, so.
Yeah.
So, yes. So they're supposed to come up tomorrow. That's when they could get up here. They were going to bring it down. Like, we bought it from Susan's sister, right? Because they own a furniture store. So why would you not go there?
Yeah.
And they were going to try to bring it down over the weekend for Mother's Day when they were down here. But it was like rainy, and so like, that's okay. No, don't worry. Don't bring the couch in the rain. That's not good. Because they were just going to bring it in their truck. Well, it's like, we'll just throw it in the back of the truck and drive it up here. I'm like, well, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Not through the thunderstorm. Let's not do that. That's a bad idea. So, we actually got it out a lot. I remember it being much more of a hassle to get it in the house. But maybe that's because we're sort of like being careful with it, right? To get it out, we're just like, all right, we're very sentimental, but we're also like, shove it out the door, like, when?
Do
like
this.
out the back door.
Well, also, I mean, it's a bit more compacted these days, so it may have.
That's true. And Shayna was here, so like that, we'd have a 3-person moving team.
True.
So that was more helpful than the
more hands always helpful.
Last time. Yeah. So that made it pretty good. We just like took it out the back door and walked it around the front to the curb. So
nice.
Boom. It's all the phenomenon that goes with the citywide cleanup. And apparently this is like a very niche thing. Not a lot of other places do this.
Yeah.
From what I understand. But they have the city cleanup day where you can just put your stuff outside and they come and take it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Like
I said, it coincides with like the big giant citywide garage sale thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you can either buy it or throw it out. And you can see like over the past couple weeks, because they, like I said, they do it in sections. Like this part of town, like you call City Hall, and they're like, the day for your neighborhood is this day.
Yeah.
So they kind of spread it out, But people just drive around in their trucks, right? Because once it's outside, somebody's going to take it.
Free pick.
So there's people that just drive around, and a lot of people just like, well, I don't want this anymore, and I couldn't sell it, so I'm just going to put it out.
Sure.
And people just come by and snatch it up and take it,
Yeah. Ours.
So
our pickup is actually in 5 days. So, this is the first city that I knew to do anything like that, and it's amazing. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
We've
never actually taken part before, so this is kind of cool, right? Like, whoa.
We took part
because I'm the Funkhauser that doesn't get rid of anything, right? It's okay.
We took part last year, but it was all like yard waste because I redid all of our flower beds and stuff. So I had all this crap, and I just put it out in bags, and they took it. And nice. I'm like, I don't know. I understand in some cities it's not feasible, but
I mean, my city is very small, right? So like,
but it's very not. I think it's a really good service, especially at least in my area. There's a lot of people who are trying to like rehab homes or do renovations or things like that, and so
here too.
So
there's a lot of older homes that are kind of like newer people are moving in and like fixing up and stuff, or even like not like brand new, but like old, a little bit older, and there's second or third owner, maybe like not super old, but they still they're not like historic homes or anything,
right?
But it's cool. It's weird. It's kind of weird. There's like a whole entire city spring cleaning event. Like it's kind
of I'm all for it, and I like it a lot. For a few days, the streets look a little full and crowded, but
our neighborhood, there's been stuff outside for a couple days because you can put it up. The city says you can leave it out like X number of days before the pickup, just so you can start getting stuff out.
Right. And it really does.
But it's funny to see everybody driving around being like, "Oh, that chair though, it's not so bad."
I mean, we're kind of those people where we're like, I did that last year. Someone threw out.
Well, yeah, there's some cool stuff some people put out there. You know, it's like they're just like, I don't want to deal with it. Just throw it out. And you're like, wait a minute, hold on, that's cool.
I'd like to deal with that, please.
Yeah, you know, I think that's cool. You know, you go for it, man. Recycle that stuff. Just take it and use it for whatever, or you know, feel like especially if you're like a very crafty person. I bet this time of year is like the best.
Oh yeah. Well,
if you are a person that's like, I can't reupholster a chair.
Yeah.
Then this is like the time for you, man. Because you just go out, you know, boom, brand new thing, or like, oh yeah, I got all this stuff. I can like stain and refinish a table. Boom, done.
Yeah, I think of the people who are, you know, maybe they're remodeling a house, but they're trying to source building materials from other renovated places, you know, to try and match. Like, I know a big thing in our area is trying to match damaged original pieces of wood and trim.
Oh yeah,
right. And so you can go around some places, and there's actually a pretty big market for crown molding in the antique stores. So our antique stores have whole sections devoted to crown molding and corner pieces. It's very weird. But that's because people are...
I mean, not really. It makes sense. Like, I understand why you
But it's totally weird because it was a market that I never thought of. And then I started to see like crown molding pieces and corner pieces that are like in my house, and it clicked. And I was like, oh, this is for people who are trying to restore, or like they have a corner piece that got damaged by a dog or something, and they just need one piece of that old yeah. So there are people who go around and look for that kind of stuff too, or old windows. Yeah, because if all the homes in town were built at the same time in a certain area, they're all gonna have a similar style material inside. Yes.
So they can be like, oh wait, I need that. Bam, got it. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I don't think I don't know. I haven't been to our antique mall in a while, actually. Well, I haven't been in since we did the EDC challenge, because that's where I bought all this stuff. For
gosh. Man, that was a while back.
That's true. Well, it's not a place that you just like, I don't know. It's not a place that I just like seek out a lot, but every once in a while I'm like, I want to go in there and see what's up.
Yeah.
I just want to see what's in there.
There's a few that are kind of on the same city block in downtown, and it's kind of one of those things like if I was looking for something in particular, I would just need to drop into these three kind of like once a week just to walk through, just to see what they get in. If I was really looking for like a piece or something, or if I was actively looking, because they get new stuff in all the time. I'm like, where does it go? But I guess a lot of their pieces go to like Kansas City or to other areas.
Oh, that's true.
Doing, people come into town to actually go antiquing to find pieces. To then take back.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I mean, see our grandma, I guess.
Our grandmother. It's true. Yeah, I don't know. Downtown, we had a store that was like, it kind of dabbled in like random, and it's kind of like one of those like, I don't know, like it was kind of like antique-y stuff, but it was like the real good stuff that people wanted to like, they kind of like fix it up and we're selling it there. But then we have the big one. It's actually the old railroad depot building.
Oh, cool.
And it's awesome.
I love this already.
It's so cool. It's like the best thing ever. It's like it's right by the railroad tracks. Yeah, because our city's a railroad town, right? Yep. It's like a lot of towns and little towns in Missouri.
Yep.
It's a railroad town. So, it's right on the railroad tracks. Still like the rail yard. There's still a rail yard here. That does its thing. It's like a little layover yard. It's not like a real big one, but there's a small rail yard here, and the depot is just right there, and it's the antique mall now. And outside, there's still a, you walk up the stairs, and there's still this big platform that's where you would walk, and it's perpendicular to the tracks.
Oh,
right?
wow.
So you could walk down there and it's like right where they would load stuff. And then parallel to the tracks at the end, you can see where the stuff was, like the loading docks and all that stuff, right? So it's really cool. And then inside is just this huge building. It's just really neat in there. I like the building a lot, right? It's just really cool in there. And you know, there's the general mix of like really random things like collector cups or just like junk like that. And then there's like the just extremely weird stuff that you find in antique stores, just like random junk from somebody's closet. And like, you know, and then all of a sudden you're like a sweet rotary dial phone. You're like, okay, that's cool. I like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But there's actually like a really weirdly big like furniture section in this one.
Oh, cool.
They have like a whole room that's like furniture.
I'd love that.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like the front little pavilion things are kind of like, they're kind of lame, right? It's like, and you know, some of it's like, oh, somebody's a crafty person, so they made stuff and they put it in there. And it's cool. That's not why I'm there, but people like that. But like the back, there's these two rooms in the back, and then there's a book section.
Yeah.
Yo. Because they just put any book back there?
Right. It's not
so
it's just book, right? That's the only qualifier.
The stuff you can find back there is great.
Yeah.
I have some stuff that I got in there. Like I have some random like old school books from like the 1920s. You know?
Cool. Yeah.
And like I have somewhere it's on my shelf over here. It's like a tour guide book about like sites in the USA, you know, like places to go visit. Yeah. And it's in German.
Sorry, what?
It's in German. Because this part of Missouri, German was like the second most common language spoken in Missouri forever. I mean, it's still up in the top 5 languages in Missouri is German. So like the amount of German immigrants here was humongous. So there's just like German books around.
Right,
it's like an old book
that they would have been given, or somebody would have sent to them.
They would have bought that
before they came over, right, as a way to get used to the area. I love that. Yeah,
it's cool.
Our depot, original depot, is actually now the visitor center, and it's completely
that's cool too.
Remodeled and they went through an extensive renovation. To put up exhibits that also kind of showcase the history of the town. But it's set up in a way that like some of the original rooms, as far as like where the galley was or where things are set up to look like they would have back in the day. And so, man, you know, I absolutely love this building. And they also have a railroad exhibits and model trains that you can go and watch and play with and use things like that.
That's really cool. I like that actually.
No, they really did a good job whenever they redid this, because it's just, you know, it's a beautiful building. I guess
take some pictures to send to my town council. We need that. That's what we need.
And but yeah, the antique stores that we have here are very much they're not the antique malls, you know, where people have booths that they sell. This is very much there's one proprietor who goes out and finds and buys antiques and then brings them back. And I don't know. I think I like that more because I don't know. I guess you'd have to see if you align with the owner's taste and what they think is an antique or whatever, versus the antique mall style where it's anything and everything is going to be found in there.
Yeah, because it's more of like a curated collection type thing, right? Like, yeah, ours is a little both, right? It's a consignment, but like I feel some of the rooms, I feel like it's just like there are some booths where people are selling stuff, and then there are some like we're just going to put this here, like. They like the store bought it or whatever, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna stick it here.
Or kind of like, you know, someone's estate kind of had to close out and they didn't know what else to do with all this stuff.
Yeah,
dumped it in a corner, right, or whatever.
Yeah, and they just bring it in like, we're just going to, will you buy this? And like, sure, we'll stick it in here and sell it.
Yeah.
Or they go through it and go, okay, we'll buy this stuff. The rest of it, you can go take it to Goodwill because we don't want those clothes. But yeah, it's really, I like to do that. And there are like, I don't know, I don't go a lot, but every once in a while, I'll just be like, I want to go to an antique store because I just want to see what kind of stuff is in there. As a person who likes stuff.
Yeah.
Like I am fascinated by these buildings because there's just like, there's literally anything could be in there. It's like a mystery. It's all exciting.
My favorite game of going with Mimi was, what is this? And what did you?
Oh yeah, that's true. What the heck is this thing?
Right?
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, you know how many times how long it took me to figure out what a sugar mold was? You know, those old sugar molds.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, holy cow! Yeah, those things are. They don't look like anything that you would use ever. Like, what is this for?
Like, why is this? Yeah, and figuring that was, and all of a sudden you saw them everywhere. You're just like, wow. Huh.
Also, the random assortment of old tools, right?
Always.
That's always fun. Like, what is this thing? That's cool. I like that thing. Yeah. And some of them are like, you know, I know people that go because they need that stuff, you know, because especially like guys that work on a farm or stuff like that, they like need those wrenches and stuff that are in there.
Yeah.
And you can't find like really, some of them you can't find new ones, or new ones are like really expensive. So you can just be like, oh, hey, look, blam, I have this.
Yeah.
I have this wrench now. Or even if you're just like, I just need a wrench. Boom. Got it. Like $2.
Yeah. Or less. Or what, you know, whatever. Yeah, you're right. It's like there's a lot of utility to be found there, and not just I'm getting this because it's old and cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of like both, because there is cool stuff that's like utilitarian that you're just like, oh, I just need like I mean, whenever I moved out into my first apartment by myself, that is where I went to look for stuff for my house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because they have just like random kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, because there'll be some booth where somebody's just like selling some mismatched old like kitchen utensils. You'd be like, oh, look, a potato masher. Boom. Got it. Like, you know, it's like 75 cents. And, you know, that may seem silly when you can buy a new one for like $6, but you know, if you're, you know, being utilitarian and frugal about these things, you're like, oh, I could get that thing. I could save a lot of money here. I bought an ice cream scoop in there. Remember that? I think I still have that actually in the kitchen.
Well, it also helps if you have a somewhat more eclectic nature, you know, like
that's true.
Last time we were in, it was like, oh, I could just come in here and buy like 18 different kind of plates, and that'd be kind of cool, and take them back home.
That would be cool. I'd be all about that. Who needs matching plates? Not
or
me.
You know, it's like I don't have matching cups anyway, so might as well just get a few more.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that kind of stuff's cool. Like you can just buy us a couple. I mean, that's when I was in college. We did that. We went to a random one in Joplin because we needed some coffee cups for our dorm room.
Yeah.
And we just bought a couple really random coffee cups that were in there for like, I think we spent $2 and got like 6 of them. I still have 1 or 2 of them actually too. Like, I kept 1 of them, I think, because Susan was like, we need to throw this out. I was like, no, I'm keeping this one pink coffee cup that I bought. A lot. The other ones I got rid of because they were like gross and nasty and broken. It's like, okay, get rid of those. This one pink one is funny, and I'm keeping it.
Yeah, right.
For the laughs.
That kind of stuff of like this. I think it does take kind of someone of a different kind of personality to see that and go, yeah, this is where I'm going to go shopping now, right? This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's fun. Aaron, what are your thoughts on antique stores / flea markets?
Yeah.
Do you and Shelby visit them in Oklahoma?
Are you?
And are you going to now that we brought it up?
Upon you by your grandmother.
Well, yes, true. Are you so traumatized by antiquing with Mimi that it's worn off?
Well, I made the joke one time that Mimi knew where all of the antique stores were from here or from Springfield to Petersburg, Illinois, and I knew that partially wasn't like a yeah. So
it's only a slight exaggeration.
Yeah, I remember going up there. Like, oh man, this is gonna take not long. Like, it's not that far to St. Louis, and then like, it's so long to St. Louis because Mimi is driving and wants to stop at every.
It's already a 4-hour drive. Let's not pretend like it's close.
So I remember the one that was by our house in Rogersville. I just remember kind of how cool that was, and he's just going to that, and I liked them. I never. In my mind, I never really got the point, if that makes sense, because it's a place where old things are. Cool. Wow. Oh man, it's crazy. So for me, they never truly fascinated me. Now that I'm older, I can kind of appreciate them a little more just because of the stuff that we went through. But I also have a different outlook on those because I worked in an auction business forever, and so people will be like, "Oh, we could just donate to this for put this in an auction or put this in whatever it's called." And I go, "No, we gotta put that in this facility so we can go do all this other stuff." Like, oh well, that's but why? Like, that's an antique store. I'm like, I don't get the point. I don't know what an antique store does. So for me, antique stores were always just weird. But then as I got older, I was like, oh, this place is actually pretty cool. But, in my little mind, going to antique stores of seeing them like, oh, this toy is old. I like it. This is mine now. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fun, too, if you get into, really niche hobbies. Because you're, walking around, you're just the stuff that's next to each other is very amusing to me. You could be in, there's one out of that giant one that's in Springfield on, West Battlefield or whatever, that huge warehouse one that Mimi drug me to a lot. After when Susan and I were married, so this wasn't that long ago. Yeah, it's huge, and it's just oh look, a fencing foil from the 1930s, a cricket bat, right? A fountain pen, this random microwave. What the heck? It's. Exactly. The stuff that's in there is just so crazy.
Yes.
And then every once in a while you'll be and it's just fun for me to see, because there's some things that you don't, because I'm officially an old man now, there's things that you don't see anymore that you will find in antique stores. Whoa, this double cassette player. That's kind of cool, right? I don't want to have it, but it's fun to know that it still exists there. It's still there. Yes.
Yeah.
This 1989 double cassette AM/FM radio combo is very exciting. But that's because I have memories of recording songs off the radio onto tapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or making stupid mixtapes where you record songs off one tape onto the blank one. Yep. The record industry's biggest fear. You can record your own tapes. Oh no.
Self-espoused pirate. Oh no.
Yes. Oh no. So, I have those memories of that. So, seeing that thing just sort of makes me haha, that's cool. That reaction is not in me for that thing anyway, strong enough to where then I must buy it. But
I give it another 10
if
years.
I wanted to, it would probably only cost me $6. So, I wouldn't be at all.
Then you could have it.
I could have it easily. So I'm going to have to go back here before too long. Susan likes to go.
Yeah.
And we just like to wander around and look at things. And we don't usually, a lot of times we don't buy stuff, right? It's just fun to go and wander about and look at random things. Usually we'll end up buying some kind of book. That's generally what happens.
Nice.
Be like, oh, this book's crazy, and I'll just buy it because it like is funny or old or interesting in some way, right? I have entirely too many atlases that are like pre-1940 for this reason. Like I don't
for when you time travel. I don't know what's the
yes. I mean, I'm a geography teacher, so it's fine.
It's for school.
So like, they humor me. They amuse me to see that. But yeah, that kind of stuff. So usually we don't buy things. It's just kind of a fun thing to go do.
Yeah,
you know, just like wander. I mean, even like I used to go with my friends in high school. This is how with the times I was, ladies and gentlemen. When we were in high school, like me and Corey would just like go to random ones in downtown Springfield.
Yeah,
because the ones in downtown Springfield is where all the weird stuff was. Yeah. So like, we just wanted to see what was in there. It was one of those we're just mostly like curious about what is in this building. So did he one time buy like a Fonzie glass? Absolutely.
Yeah. Because he could, right?
Yeah, because it was in there and it was like 50 cents. So he was like,
obvious.
How can I not buy this?
I know. This would be criminal.
It's legally required.
Yeah.
You know, just fun stuff like that. It's just fun I think it's fun. Plus, again, sometimes it's in a cool building, like an old railroad depot or something.
Yeah. Well, and like I'm just thinking back to some of the ones here in town. Like there's a lady who, her antique store, she only does like furniture in big pieces. And so if you wanted bed frames or a side table or a couch or even some like antique paintings or frames, you go to her. And so that has a very different feeling than like an antique, more like knick-knack store. Like there's one around the corner where she's just like everything that I kind of like will bring into the store. So but
that's what's cool about ours. It's got a little bit of everything in one.
So I should
but that furniture stuff, man, you know, that's a big deal. Like my old boss when I worked at the factory a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was like his side gig. He would like go out to yard sales and he would look for old furniture.
Yeah.
And he would rehab it. You know, just enough. Like he wouldn't like completely restore it, but he would like clean it up and make it structurally sound. And, you know, he was like a woodworky guy and he would do that stuff. But like early furniture and like primitive things, he would look for that stuff and he'd go to yard sales and like the citywides and stuff like that. And he would take it home and kind of fix it up and rehab it enough. And then he had there's a store, I don't remember where it was now, but he would take it to there. He had a little booth in that store because they specialized in large pieces like that.
Sure.
And he would sell it there. That's what he did. He, you know, that was his side. He made tons of money doing that. It was crazy. Like, he would talk about how much money he was like, you're choking me. What?
Yeah, and I think, you know, part of that is, you know, people are trying to, I know here at least, people try and I have been interested in like trying to use pieces from the time in your house, or if you're trying to do a renovation and bring back some of the period pieces for the home. Like it's kind of nice to have like, oh, this boudoir, or this, you know, this
it's like armoire,
right?
Like,
whatever, right? Like it kind of fits the house because it's like, oh, that's why this house was built like this, was for this kind of furniture or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
it's just kind
of.
The
other thing is too, for like a statement piece, right? Like if you want like one thing in your house, it's like, whoa, what is that? You know what I mean? Like it can be a piece of furniture like that. Now you can have like other more functional furniture that you sit on daily, but then you can still in the room you can still have a big like, boom, like here's my, you know, big statement thing or whatever. Yeah. Which is kind of cool in its own way, right? Like if that's your style, that's what you want to do. So it's interesting, you know. Kind of tie the room together, as it were.
Well, all that to say, I think I'm glad. I'm interested to hear your full review of your couch. And
Oh yeah. Perfect.
I went and got a haircut today downtown, and I
nice. I'm
witness-
scheduled for next week. I did that thing where like I don't pay attention, and I looked in the mirror earlier, like last week, and was like, oh, whoa.
No, it was time for Noah. He was up to like he had like 4.5 inches of hair on his head. So it was like we need to cut back just a little bit. So I went downtown to 2-Bit Barber. It's an amazing place. It's all like all the seats are like brass and leather, and they've got a cigar lounge up front or out back, and it's really cool.
Which is where Collin was.
That's where I was. Yeah, no,
it's fine.
Anyway, so we pull up. And I look over, and it's just right across from the courthouse. I turn and I look. I'm like, there's a lawnmower parked in the front of the courthouse. That's not really all that.
Oh, no.
Interesting.
Oh, dear.
And then I look, and I'm like, and there's a tent. There's a tent on the lawn of the... Well, that's weird. And then we went in, and I turn in around, and by the time I turn around, there are 2 security officers, 1 police officer coming, and they're like knocking on the tent, which is weird and
a funny statement.
Right? And the lawnmower is like brand new. And so I'm like, I guess they were mowing the lawn and came upon a tent. And they pull this guy out of the tent, and he stands up, and the cops start pointing to the lawnmower. And I go, did this guy drive his 0-turn radius lawnmower to the courthouse to pitch a tent and camp at 3:30 in the afternoon? And the answer is yes. This man needed a nap, and so he drove his 0-turn lawnmower, radius lawnmower, which is like $3,000. I was looking this thing up. And he just pitched a tent and crawled inside, and then was yelling at the cops about it being public land. And that he, as a citizen of the county and paying his taxes, he had a right to use the lawn as he saw fit and could do what he needed to do.
Okay.
So after he was arrested and hauled off, the next, which was the predictable outcome of this interaction. What was then funny, it was like I got to watch the cop sit there and kind of stare at the tent and the 0-turn radius lawnmower, and I know what his thought process was. How do I impound a 0-turn radius lawnmower?
Yeah, right. Like, what do I do now?
So you know what he did?
Dang it. He drove it away?
He did. He just drove it away.
Yeah.
It was so funny. And it's because we're downtown, and so like the impoundment area is like right across the square, right? So he doesn't have to go very far.
That's true. Just like
it just looked really funny. This cop like kind of like his shoulders hang, and he's like packing up the tent and like sitting this tent in his lap, and then like driving the lawnmower. I don't know.
Oh,
it's so funny, but it's just like you could tell he was like, "This is not what I wanted to be doing today."
Now, to all of our listeners who may or may not live in rural areas, our Singapore listeners are going to be very confused about this. It is actually not an uncommon sight to see people driving lawnmowers to places.
Right.
In Missouri.
Yeah.
It's a very odd.
Now,
it does happen. I saw it just the other day. And so this guy was just driving his lawnmower to a place. Like,
right. And now,
I imagine this happens in Oklahoma. Aaron, is this true?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Confirm? Okay.
Now, the reason this is because they cannot have a license for many, many reasons.
Yeah, you do not have to have a driver's license to operate a lawnmower.
Which is also why I realized that we have such a large abundance of scooters in my town. We have so many scooters because you don't need a license to operate those either.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If they're under 50 cc.
Yeah, 49 cc, right? Yep. You're good.
But I had never seen somebody riding around a zero-turn lawnmower.
Now, that is true. I have not seen they're big. Yeah. Normally, you see the like old-style riding lawnmowers where the deck's just underneath it and it's like a little mini tractor.
With a steering wheel, right?
Sometimes they have a trailer. They have a steering wheel, right?
Yeah.
That's what you see around. And yes, again, you don't have to have a license to drive them. For some reason, it's okay to drive them on the road, though. Like, a lot of them are road legal because they have, like, turn signals, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But, like...
yeah. No.
And so you have people that have lost their licenses for some stuff, and then they just drive their lawnmower around.
So that was the point.
Or they're really old people who don't drive the car anymore, but they, for some reason, will drive a lawnmower to, like...
Right, exactly.
You know,
low risk.
Whatever.
Or lower risk. But yeah, so that was like the whole, like the scene of like, okay, somebody's camping in front of the courthouse, ballsy move.
The zero turn mower is the throw for a loop here. That's
a brand new, like bright, nice, sparkly, shiny orange zero turn lawnmower. So then I'm going, did you steal this lawnmower and then get tired? I don't know. I don't know.
Napping in front of the courthouse is maybe he has jury duty in the morning. Like, I don't know.
I gotta get ready.
It's so odd.
And I got to watch the whole thing from while getting my hair cut because I was sitting right in front of their big windows looking out into the square. It was like, I don't know. Like, I have a lot of questions about what was going on, and none of them will ever get answered. So I'll just have to be satisfied with getting to watch it.
That's very interesting. Follow-up question. Aaron, I have a question for you. When you get your haircut, barber shop or hair salon?
So I had more of a question before that.
Okay. We'll come back to mine.
I will answer your question. Barbershop or what is it called?
Like a hair salon.
Quartet.
Yes.
I've only found like really good places with hair salons, but like either like sports cuts or some like little things like that. I've never actually like been to a barber, even though I've always like, oh, it'd be like really cool if I got like my haircut, and I'll get to use the straight razor. I always thought like that'd be really cool. At a barbershop.
I don't want to touch my beard. Leave my beard alone. Get away.
So salon for me, a statement is whenever I was in like college, Dad's like, oh, just go use my barber when I came like home for like a weekend or something. Dad went to like a really bougie barbershop in Springfield.
What?
So you walk in and they like offered me wine, and it was like very like fancy and very like high tech. And there was this guy. He's like, "Oh, you must be Jack's boy. Come on back." And they like, "Oh, do you get you some wine, some water?" And I'm like, "What?
What the world?
What is happening here?"
Insane.
It was
out of character.
It was a very unique place,
to say the least.
And so I went there a few times, and Dad has stopped going. He hasn't been in for a few years, but so that I just wanted to make that statement. The question is, why did our parents take us to Bass Pro Shop to get our haircuts when we were younger? Anyone have any answer?
Because it was a barber shop.
Yeah. His dad took us there.
Yes,
and they had the cool barber shop which overlooked the hunting and archery area.
Okay.
Yes, but I had that memory too. When Collin was saying barbershop, I had that jumped into my mind as well. I was like, oh yeah, we did go there sometimes. That was so weird. I don't know.
I sent you.
I just remember that, and I was like, did Dad take us to Bass Pro Shop? Why didn't he?
Yes.
Do that?
Yeah.
The real question, Aaron, that you should be asking is, why in the world was there a barbershop in Bass Pro Shop? That
was question number 2 because
that's the real question. Johnny,
Because,
what are you doing, man? Who's like buying hunting apparel? I'm like, you know what? I do need a haircut. Yeah.
Apparently, not enough people because it's not there anymore. But
that's true.
But yeah, it was. I love the theme of the. It was nautical. I don't know if you remember the chairs were the boat chairs. So they had where you could put the pole and
they're like fishing chairs, right?
Yeah, fishing chairs. Yeah.
I feel like nautical is one of the acceptable themes for barbershop.
Yeah.
I feel like there's only like a couple themes. There's like old timey, and there's like nautical, right? I think that might.
Yes. Yeah. This one that we go to is definitely more old timey. And I sent you a link to it. You can see the chairs.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's amazing. But yeah, I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. So like the reason I asked Aaron that question, those are nice chairs though, I gotta give it that, is because I also go to like a hair salon to get my hair cut. I have not had good experience with barber shops.
Yeah.
Like this is a biased opinion, right? And I haven't gone to a traditional like barber to get my hair cut in a long time, like a whatever. Because like I feel like when I did go when I was younger, they were all like really old dudes, and you get one of 3 haircuts at a barber shop, right? They can do a buzz cut, a fade, a shorter buzz cut, like that's kind of it, right? You can. That's kind of the options that you got.
You're going to
so I was always like, that's not what I want my hair to look like. I thought, no, thank you. Now I know that statement is not currently true in a lot of places. I understand that. Any professional barbers listening, I am not throwing shade at you. It's right. It's fine. Like, I'm just saying my experience when I was younger, getting my hair cut by these like old dudes in a barbershop. And I went to there was a bunch of random ones I remember as a kid. Like, I don't even know where they were. But like, I feel like they always, even though they were completely different places, they always gave me the same haircut that I didn't like. It was like, that's not what I asked you to do. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I wear a hat anyway. It doesn't matter. But like,
no, you're right. You're right. This one is definitely I'm going to call it a hipster barbershop. Everybody has greased beards. They've all got like tattoos. And they all do like crazy like style haircuts. Like the diversity of haircuts that I see every time I go in there, I'm like, wow, like I want none of those.
That's true. It's true.
But yeah, they're nice though. And and Noah really liked it.
Yeah, I feel like this might, because like that is like you touched on it there. Like it's interesting, like the way that any hairstylist looks is like very important part of the job almost. Because like if you're going somewhere to get your hair cut, but their hair is like janky, you're like, no, hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's almost like I feel like these people are very stylish people, right? And they do have very interesting hair all the time. Like no matter what, if it's a barbershop or like a hair salon type situation, like their hair is always like very interesting. But I think that's also part of like the business, right? You can't like, I feel like there's probably a lot of pressure on them. Like, you can't have a bad hair day ever.
Or
it's not allowed.
Like, style day. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, right.
And they've been here several times. And every time I go in, each one of these guys that all cut the hair, like they are totally on point for the look that they are trying to give. And like, just like never miss a beat. And I think you're right. Like, they're just kind of like, well, this becomes part of, at least, for something like this, of like what we're trying to communicate as far as who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah, it's got a lot of pressure though, because like the business is like your look is representing the business. You don't want people to come in there and be like, "Oh yeah, that guy looks like a slob," because your job is you are a stylist, so you therefore have to be stylish, right? So I feel like that's got to be rough, man. You know, some days I go to work and I'm like, it's not a good beard day. You know, it happens. It's fine. Or you're like, yeah, I'm gonna wear these. I'm just gonna wear this random polo shirt because I don't want to dress up very much. Yeah. That's business casual enough for me. That's acceptable by my workplace. Like I'm gonna wear, or like in the wintertime, like, oh look, I can wear this gray sweater because I can't be bothered to think about what else to wear today.
Right. Meanwhile, one of these barbers, he wears like a bowler cap, a vest, and he's got like a pocket watch. And
yeah, right.
He's got, and I'm like
that. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the vest, because how committed to you are you to style if you are a vest wearer? Because how many vests are enough for your wardrobe?
Yeah.
Right? Think about that. You can't wear the same vest 2 days in a row.
Nope.
That's a lot of vests. That's a lot of dry cleaning. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, isn't that... I mean, I guess you can... I imagine you can purchase vests that are not dry clean only. But that's still a very large commitment to style. Like, if you're going to be a committed vest wearer, that's a whole extra piece of wardrobe that you have to have many different ones.
Yeah, it's not just the shirt, but it's then, vest, and then like what vest is going to go with the shirt, what season is it?
Yes.
All sorts of stuff. Does it match your hat? Because he wears different hats all the time. So
that's true.
Very different. Yeah.
And they don't have to match. You do that like English style thing, right?
Yes.
Like that, they're just like the same hat's fine.
Yeah.
The hat's just like dark or brown, and it's
yeah.
And the vest is like green. You're like, what?
It's meant to cover the head. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Yeah. You're gonna have
the bowler's the working man's cap. Okay, it's a.
No. He pulls it off. I couldn't.
That's true. I'm not stylish enough for a bowler.
No,
so it's no good.
And I always feel out of place because they all have these like magnificent beards, and I come in there like totally clean shaven, and I'm just like,
clean shaven.
Anyway,
it's true.
Sorry, don't want to make you all feel uncomfortable. Don't mind me. Over here.
It's all right. It's fine. It's okay. Yeah, it's gotta be rough, man. Imagine like not allowed to have a bad hair day. Not allowed to have your beard be all messed up,
I don't have that problem, but yes, stay on point.
I do. It's pain.
I know.
It's all right though.
I can't imagine.
It's fine.
Struggle.
It is real. Well, there you go. What else you guys got going on other than impounding lawnmowers and haircuts?
Yeah, I am doing survey practice tomorrow, and I get to drive our new UTV for work. So wish me luck.
Well, hey, the dream come true.
Sure, whatever. I have to wear a helmet, safety glasses, and gloves while operating it. So it won't be.
Gloves are important. I'm just going to say that. In my experience with operating off-road vehicles, gloves are just the best idea you could ever have.
I have a windshield, right? So
That's true. I have a horror story, though, about why gloves are good. And so, I like them.
Fair.
I was riding the dirt bike through the woods, right?
Yeah.
I was going through the woods, do that, like the woods by the driveway.
Yeah.
Right. Down in there. I was zipping in through there, and I was coming up, and I was driving, and I guess I got too close to a thorn bush, and the thorn bush wrapped around my throttle hand and yanked it off backwards. So basically the vine somehow went around my hand and then cinched as I drove by, and it ripped it off. And so my hand was so covered in blood that I could not operate the throttle anymore. Like I couldn't turn the.
Oh God!
It was so awful. It hurt so bad. Like jerked my arm backwards real hard, and then when I brought my arm forward, my hand was just red, and I was like, ah!
Oh gosh!
So I freaked out. And that's down in the bottom of a gully, right? It's in a little valley.
Yeah.
So the only way to get home was to drive the motorcycle up the hill, which you need excessive amounts of throttle to do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't grip the throttle.
Oh my!
So I just I basically leaned forward and I just leaned and I got the throttle. I just jammed it. I was like, we're going for it. And I shifted up and I just hammered down as fast as I could. And I just I went up. I might have actually wheelied halfway up this hill because I was just like, we got to go. Like, bruh.
Oh my gosh.
It was so bad.
Okay. Well,
the gloves, Collin.
Okay.
Gloves are the story.
And I will wear
the moral of the story is wear gloves. You know what's going to jump in at you.
Reach around.
Yeah. Blam. Thornbush, sneak out. All right. So surveying, are you going to have flashbacks of all the terrible orienteering things that we did in Boy Scouts?
I will wait to see.
Have you thought about
when
that?
I start having when I have to pull out a compass and start figuring out which direction we need to be going. But hopefully, this will just be site prep. This is one of their standard surveying sites that they survey every so many years to see how this bank stabilization project is doing. It's kind of like a long-term monitoring part of the process, and so they have standard set points and survey lines that they do every time, and this is going out to refine the benchmarks that they've set, and then start prepping the site for being there and doing the actual work. So we're going to start doing some clearing of stuff and again just finding some of these locations to start it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it should be fun. And tomorrow's going to be a really nice day to be out doing it.
That's true. Did you guys not have horrible people make your orienteering courses for Boy Scouts like I did?
They weren't fun. It was because I don't think they really thought through a lot of the what's in between you and this other point. I think they were just like, yeah, you go from here to here, and didn't really do they have to go through massive amounts of brambles or
Yeah, no, I think mine did. They were like, I could make him go through this field or this thorn bush.
Yours is premeditated. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Ours were premeditated. They're like, it would be more difficult and funnier to watch them go this way.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's what we did.
Yeah.
It was awful. I remember one time we had to do it, and there was those random trees that are basically the Missouri version of an acacia bush, right?
Yeah, the black locust. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. There was just a bunch of those, and that the guy was like, so ours went through that.
Oh, no.
That was great. Yeah, so I don't have fond memories of orienteering. I also didn't have gloves, so that probably would have made it better. You see,
I'll have gloves, a silver helmet, and safety goggles. So I should be
silver helmet. Is that department issue silver, or is that your personal style preference?
That was the color selected so that it didn't get confused with the other helmets we were buying. We each got our own color.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So you have easily identifiable helmets.
Yes.
I like this.
So that one of us doesn't grab the other person's while we go out into the field. And
you don't want to get to have a helmet too small. That'd be terrible.
No, or too large. It'd be ineffective.
That's true. I think too small would be worse.
That's true.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for that. Getting some of that work done. So, yeah.
Nice. What about Aaron?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a very long week for Aaron, and it's only Wednesday. Collin can attest to what most of my Monday was like. I'm just running around the county with a month-old baby. So that was it was a little chaotic, but we kind of balanced out relatively well. I start on call Friday, but my friends are coming in from. Well, so my best friend and his wife have been in Idaho for the last 2 years, and so they are they're living back in Arkansas, but they're down in Stillwater for about a month. So they're coming up for I think Saturday or something. We're gonna go do fun activities. But then I started on call, which I'm not good about. If it's any indication of what this week is like, it's not going to be very bueno for me. But other than that, that's my week's been like. It's been a lot of paperwork, a lot of driving, a lot of like, oh, do I get to go home now? No, I still have to sit here and wait. Okay, perfect. And yeah, so it was a unique experience, one that I would not
hope to not repeat.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is just what I would say to people. Like, yeah, hey, if you want to do this, think about it just a little bit. So it was definitely a very interesting experience. I am tired, and
dang,
I just want to sleep. But other than that, it's been relatively. I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't want to jinx.
It's true.
I don't want to upset the DHS gods anymore. So I'm just gonna sit here quietly and twiddle my thumbs. But yeah, it's been going pretty well. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Are you and your friends going to go to an antique mall?
No, we are going to. We're going. It's called the Flying T, which is kind of like Topgolf. It's called the Flying T. It's a
for trademark reasons.
It's basically a
distinct
driving range that you can have like food and have fun activities there. So we'll go do that and spend like a few hours. But I gotta the one of the kind of the worst aspects of being on call, besides being on call, is that you pretty much have to like babysit your phone.
Yeah,
because like that's kind of like, oh, is that my phone ringing? No. Is this my phone ringing? No. Okay, well, so that part's a little frustrating. Of that, I have to like carry around this phone constantly. But I'll do that for a little bit. See what's going on. Shelby's going to go have a cookout with her family on Saturday, so she's going to do that, and then hopefully chill on Sunday and sleep some. But yeah, other than that, that's kind of all that I had originally planned for this weekend. For some reason I thought today was like Friday. Turns out it's not.
It's true. Spoilers.
So yeah, so I've been very like, oh, do I get to do this weekend? And what do you mean? You still got to go do this, this, this? I'm like, oh, because it's not.
Oh no.
It's only Wednesday.
Yes.
So yeah, that's been the crux of my week. It's not very exciting, but I sent Collin a picture of how much fun I was having. He's like, question? I was like, I have an answer. So.
Oh man. Yeah. Ugh. Hopefully your weekend is much less exciting than that. That's not very fun at all.
That is what Aaron is hoping.
True.
But Aaron will not jinx anything more. So I have been on a hat buying spree.
Oh yeah.
I know it's kind of like a weird segue, but
I love segues. That's what this show is all about. Alternate title of the show: Weird Segue.
When we were up in St. Louis, up there in Springfield last, we did some shopping, bought a hat. I was like, oh, this is really cool, like hat. And then we went to another store. I was like, oh, I like this hat too. So bought 2 hats in like the same day. Didn't mean to, but it just kind of happened.
It's okay.
And then since then, how long ago was that? That was
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So since then, I have bought. So I got
maybe
1, 2, 3, 4. This one? That's one I already had. So I have bought 4 hats. Technically 5? No, 4 hats. So, but I keep looking at other hats. And I'm like, this would be so cool. And you already have a hat. Like, yeah, I know
fine.
that. But like more hats. So, I have been, what's the word? Blockaded from buying a new hat for a while. So
it's fine. You can be a blockade runner. Bam.
yes.
Like Han Solo. It'll be fine. So, describe your chapeau purchases for us.
Is it a bowler?
Is it a bowler hat?
No. So to put you into perspective of how difficult it is for me to buy a hat, Brandon can kind of attest to this. I wear a 7 3/4 size hat.
Yes, it's awful.
And it's that's pretty big. And it is just like obnoxiously like inconvenient to like go to a hat store and be like,
so terrible.
Hey, can I get a hat?
Do you have my size? No.
My size. No. Cool. I'm just gonna go to the parking lot and cry. So
yeah, I love that. I love the so like a medium. Like get out.
No, I can never own a trucker hat or a snapback hat because I have to put it on the very last snap, and then it just looks goofy. So I don't do that because it's pretty impossible for me to do that. I'm also very picky about my hats because some hats just like don't fit or look insanely goofy on me because of the fact that I have such a gigantic head. So I have ordering online is dang near impossible because I feel like I can't mess this up because I'm not going to be able to return it. I have a bag in my closet of just nothing but like hats, and there's like 30 hats in there, and I still have more hats. So
are those ones that don't fit or that you just don't wear?
A little bit of both. There's some of them in there that I haven't worn in a while. Okay. So I kind of like, I had to put you out to pasture, partner. So
that's fair.
But here recently, I have gotten the on-field baseball hats that a lot of teams wear. I have a Arizona Diamondback hat that's pretty sweet. I have a Cardinals hat that I'm performing right now. I have a Chiefs, a Royals hat. And then I have a Springfield Cardinals hat. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So, my hat collection has grown exponentially because I am insane, apparently. But
it's fine. It happens.
It's fine. But that's it's kind of gone in waves. Like I still wear like one of my like if I'm going out to like see a family or something, I wear like a normal hat. I still have the hat that I bought when I was down in Texas with Collin doing this field research because I was like, I'm going to get this hat. I was like, I'm going to be out in the middle of nowhere and it's going to be like 1,000 degrees. So I need like a more athletic kind of hat. I still have that hat. But here recently for more home use and more like personal running around use, I've just got
my lounging hat.
Yeah, I have a lounging hat. I was in a meeting last week. And we were just sitting there talking, and so I just had like a stack of hats next to me, and I wanted to see if anyone would notice. So I would just like put on a different hat while we're in this Zoom meeting, and then like at the tail end, my supervisor's like, "That's not the same hat you're wearing." I'm like, it's not. It took you an hour and a half till you didn't notice that.
This is actually the 7th different one I've put on.
Mm-hmm. Well, what happens is like, especially if I'm home all day, like documenting or typing, like I'll get up and if I know I'm going to be sitting like there for the rest of the day, like I'll get up, I'll have a hat on, I'll sit there and document for a while, and then I'll just like move, and I'm like, oh, well, like this hat, I just put that hat on. And so I love
this idea that Aaron just changes hats randomly in his house.
Yes,
it's so great. I love this so much.
Yes. So I'll just get up and I'll be like, oh,
this is my movie watching hat.
Yeah, like, oh, this is my hat. Like, oh, I need to put this hat on too. So, like, oh, I haven't worn this hat in a while. I'll wear this one more today. So that does happen. Not proud of it.
That's so great. I am. I'm very proud of you. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
good job.
So that's what typically happens. Like, I have a little hat rack on the door, and then I have hat racks or I have like hats stacked next to my desk, and so like I'll put one hat on, walk around for a little bit, sit down, like, oh, there's this hat. Like, oh, I'm wearing a hat. I should wear this hat instead. And so, like, just me sitting here talking about it, I have put on 2 different hats. Just because I'll be like, oh, I like how this hat fits. Like, oh, but this hat looks really cool. So,
I mean, why not? It's fine.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing. Like, when they're listening, when you guys are just talking, I'm just like, oh, hat. Oh, here's another hat. So, like, I'll just like pick up a hat, look at it, bend the bill a little bit, and I'll just like set it down. And then by the time I'm done, I'll have like 4 hats on my desk. Like, well, wait a second. I need to put these over here. And then just the cycle perpetuates over and over again. Nope. So.
That's all right. That's allowed.
Yeah.
It's also fantastic. I love that this is a thing that happens. It's good.
I don't know when it started. Like, I remember, when I was just a wee tot, like, oh yeah, I got this one really nice hat that I like, and then over time, I was like, whoa, I got like 6 hats. What's happening? And it just gone downhill from there. So
that's all right.
That is my life.
That's fine. I'm looking at currently 1, 2, 3, 6 on my little thing here, so it's fine. It's okay. Yeah. So
I have 1.
And I need to get a couple more because I need some lighter weight hats.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because I have many years ago, I decided I want to wear flat caps because they're just more interesting. Baseball caps, I began to get bored. I didn't like them. And so I was like, I'm going to try this. And have a bunch. There's some that I don't really wear because I did the same thing. Like, I bought it and was like, I don't like this one. But a lot of them are like wool, and summer is upon us, and so that's no good. It's
a bit hot.
So you got it's a bit hot, yes. So I gotta do some looking around and try to get some different material, to switch it up a little bit for summertime. So I need to do a little bit of shopping, but other than that. So I understand, Aaron. It's okay. I don't generally wear them in the house because I don't. But the fact that you do brings me great joy.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad I could help with that.
I like it very much.
So what about you, Brandon? What's on your docket?
Not a lot. School's over next week, so
hey.
Joys.
Just doing stuff. It's that time where you just get like random things happening during the day some days. So it's like, what am I doing today? I don't know. What about, okay. Yeah, so tomorrow the high school counselor's coming in to talk about the transition to 7th grade. So we're going to talk about 7th grade related things.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. And then that's where Friday we're going to finish up our project thing we worked on this week and watch a video probably.
Sure.
And next week is hold on to your hats because it's the last week of school. So that's kind of it.
Oh boy.
They got me to teach summer school again somehow. So I'm going to do that. Luckily, this time I have much more advanced warning than last year. It was like, will you come in 2 days and do summer school? Like, what? So I got to go talk to the lady about that, but I've been thinking about stuff to do. Right. So the library is going to be open during summer school this year because the librarian is doing summer school to do credit recovery for the high schoolers. Yo, are you kidding me? This is great. We can have reading time and library class. This is fantastic. It's going to be cool. So I'm talking about, I'm doing the same grade level again, though. It's the kids that are, I have kids that are going to be sixth graders next year and a couple kids that are going to be fifth graders next year. So I talked to the fifth grade teacher about like what kind of stuff are we looking for. So we're going to do some like civic stuff because I know anything about government, and that's a problem for sixth grade because we learn about like other forms of government. And then we like compare them to like the U.S. system. So we talk about like, you know, like how is like, well, we look at it through the lens of like ancient government. So like the Egyptians, right? And we do a lot of like, well, how is that similar and different to the U.S.? And people, they're like, I don't know. Like, cool. So some kids are going to get the advanced version of civics this summer and do some sciencey stuff, you know, some building things. We're going to revive the building projects from last year. I think we do those again. Those were really, the kids really like those a lot. So we're going to do some of that. We'll have to do some writing. I don't like teaching writing, but perhaps some creative writing shall be in order. Try to make fun out of it. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Kind of holding on. Wondering when. Oh man, I gotta tell you though. I don't know if Aaron saw my text from Friday. Apparently, speaking of things that my city has decided to do, they decided that last Friday was Food Truck Friday.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What? Excuse you? So they had downtown on Front. I guess it's on Front Street. That's the name of the street. I can't remember. It's also like really close to the railroad tracks. It's where they've kind of done a lot of the rehab stuff. There's a big pavilion they built down there, like a community pavilion and like a little park for kids and like, you know, this stuff they're trying to like spruce it up and everything. So it's down there by the railroad tracks, and there was like tons of trucks down there, and they came from like, some of them came from Springfield.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was a couple local ones. There's, you know, so your taco trucks, and there was like a dessert truck and like something else. Also in a very genius move, one of the local places they do like it's called like Prime Cut, and they do like barbecue-y things, and they really do a lot of catering. They have opened a food truck or something, which is kind of a genius move. Oh man, because their stuff's really good. But the highlight of this was the London Calling food truck came from Springfield.
Oh,
yo, holy cow! What's up? Yeah. So we went and got some pasties from the London Calling food truck. The line was atrocious, right? Like Susan went to go pick it up because I was finishing up some stuff, and then she was gonna come and get me, take it up to her mom's house for a traditional Friday with the mother, and it took forever. She said there was so many people everywhere, so that's good.
Yeah,
but yeah, so they can't. And oh my god, those pasties were so good. I can see why the line was so long.
So for Saturday, or this last Saturday, for the weekend of Mother's Day, Shelby and myself, we took her mom down to Tulsa for what's called Mayfest, and it's downtown Tulsa, and they just had artsy crafty kind of thing, super cool, but they just had like the whole area of downtown just blocked off, and it was just nothing but lines of food trucks. Yeah. And I have not had a funnel cake since like I last went to it was something with Mimi, but it was some sort of like sporting or some sort of like thing that Mimi would take us to.
Yeah.
And like I hadn't had a funnel cake. I had like just this insane just like burger from like a food truck. And poor Shelby, she ordered like for this like really nice Mexican restaurant or Mexican food truck, but like they didn't have anywhere that said like how big some of the stuff was. So Shelby just rolls up with like a Mexican burrito like burger. And like she basically it looked like she ordered like half the truck. just because there was so much of it. And she's like, "Can you guys help me?" I haven't sat down like ate anything in a long time. And you had to roll me out of there.
Yeah.
Because they had just like this homemade sweet tea and like big jug things. And
man, there you go.
And plus, as fair skinned as I am, I was relatively burnt.
Yeah.
But it was just so cool just to be able to to walk around and like see all of the little like art stuff, and then just like all the food, and they had like live music playing constantly. And it's like, wow, this is actually really cool. We went to that, and then I was pretty much in a coma for the rest of Saturday.
Yeah. That's cool. That's like, yeah, I didn't know. I was very surprised that they decided to do this here. I was like, what? This is a great idea. What are you talking about? First of all, like say the bangers and mash pasty, pasty, whatever. Man, that's a brilliant idea. Like by the time she got there, they were already sold out of like 2 of the kinds. Like their traditional like shepherd's pie, gone. Boom.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the one that everyone's like, they got. But she had a chicken tikka masala pasty. Dude, get out! Come on.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it is, apparently. Boom. So that's exciting. I had some of that too. Oh yes. That's good. But it's really cool. And they I guess last year they started like it's called, I don't remember what it's called, like First on Front, like the first like weekend of the month. They do something like that. They have like some live music, and they have a couple of food trucks go down. Because one of my friends went last year a couple of times. Or I guess the year before that, because I didn't do it last year. But I think they're going to bring it back. So, might go. Don't know. I don't often like a lot of the live music that shows up around here. It is off-putting. But, we got to go for a little while. If our friends want to go, we might go for, if there's more food trucks, I might be able to. Might be purchased. Yes. But it's just kind of cool. They're trying to do some stuff down there, make it actually go down there.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Yeah. Because I was talking the other day, we were talking about it. It's like, there's not a lot of stuff down there that I want to go do.
Sure.
And Susan was like, well, what would you want? And I couldn't really think of anything.
Right. Like, well, now that you mention it.
Because there's like, the downtown is like cool looking. It's like the very historic, it's like the brick, your classic like brick building, Main Street kind of thing, right? But a lot of stuff down there is like the pawn shop, the pharmacy. Yeah, I don't know what else is down there.
Fun.
I don't really go there because there's not a lot of stuff. There's not a draw for me. So like, I don't know what I would put there. If they could be like, hey, you could put anything you want here. I can't actually come up with anything that I would like want to go do. So I don't. So that's cool though that they're doing that. So hopefully more food truck Fridays in the works, because that was a great idea.
Yeah. We just started, you sent me that thing and I was like, oh, I wish we would do something like that. And then like the next day I found out that there was they're going to start doing it on like Wednesdays in an area kind of in conjunction with the farmers market that we have, bringing in from the area. And I was like, oh, but it's only for lunch. And I was like, well, okay. Then.
Oh,
I know. Like I still need to try this. So I don't know what kind they have, but I was like, well, okay. I need to get in on this ASAP.
Wednesday lunch is a weird. Maybe that's just a test run.
I think
to see.
Yeah, they're just trying to see, and then they'll probably expand from there if it stays on.
You would think Wednesday night, right? Because it'd be like you get that post-church thing going on. Because people go to church on Wednesday for some reason. I never figured that one out, but like that's a thing.
Well, who knows
here in Missouri?
If they surveyed other, if they surveyed the food trucks and the food truck owners, and they may have other commitments in other areas.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
That they need to be. So I don't know. I hope it continues. I'm definitely interested in trying to go more.
Yeah. If I could have more bangers and mashed pasties, that would be great. Yes. So we'll see. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So
we can all report back on our culinary excursions next
that's
time.
true. And we'll have to get Aaron to go to an antique store at some point to see
maybe that's
his
our next
modern
challenge.
perception. There we
Live.
go. Antique store challenge.
Antique store purchase under $10 that you didn't expect.
Best antique store purchase under $10. I like this plan.
Okay.
This is a beautiful challenge.
I love it.
We'll put that one on the books for some time in the future.
Yes, I'm actually
Not this weekend. Aaron's busy, but
scroll past the top.
at
10.
some point.
Does that go before or after top 10 mouse movies? I think.
I mean, it's fine.
It's in no
We can probably do
particular
it. Yes, no particular order. We will probably get around to it much before that one. But
order. I mean, I don't know at this rate.
that's true. I have to look for some more mouse movies. I don't know. Because I still don't know if we even have 10. So we
I don't know.
put that on my summer to-do list. Watch Tales of Despero. Where does it rank? Yes.
Well, we'll keep plugging away at that list.
All right.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.